Students, welcome back to chapter metallurgy. In the previous module, we have studied how to convert concentrated ore into metal oxide. And in this module, now we are going to study how to convert metal oxide into metal. In the sense, we are converting metal oxide into metal. Metal oxide in the sense what? A metal contains some oxide. What we want only metal. So if we want to convert metal oxide into metal, we need to employ a process called as reduction. So conversion of metal oxide into metal can be done by reduction of ore by heating it with a suitable reducing agent. Okay, if you want to convert metal oxide into metal, what we have to do? We have to heat the metal oxide. We have to heat. So till the metal oxide is converted into metal, and the process of heating metal oxide into metal in the presence of some suitable reducing agent is known as pyrometallurgy. Okay, so what is pyrometallurgy? Pyrometallurgy is a process in which the metal oxide is heated with a suitable reducing agent. Okay, so when you heat with a suitable reducing agent, that metal oxide will convert into metal. So here pyro means heat. Okay, so what is pyro? So pyro in the sense heat. Metallurgy is nothing but it's a process where the metals are extracted from the particular ore. So as you know, pyrometallurgy is nothing but the process in which that is metal oxide is heated in the presence of suitable reducing agent such as carbon. So for example, you can take here, so this is a metal oxide. So this metal oxide, when it is treated with a suitable reducing agent such as carbon, we are going to get the metal, and that is carbon monoxide gas is released out. So what exactly this equation represent? In the sense, it represents the process of pyrometallurgy. Okay, pyrometallurgy in the sense the process of heating metal oxide. M stands for metal, O stands for that is oxygen. Okay, metal oxide when it is heated with a suitable reducing agent, that is carbon, to give you free metal, plus some gases are released, that is carbon monoxide gas is released. If you want to understand the feasibility of the reaction, so you can use that is the Gibbs free energy change. Okay, so with the help of Gibbs free energy change, the delta in the sense Gibbs free energy change in the sense that is delta G is given by delta G equals to delta H minus T into delta S. Okay, so we have studied in the PUC first year, that is Gibbs free energy equation is given by G equals to H minus Ts. And if you want to know the change in the Gibbs free energy of the particular reaction, can be understood by using an equation that is a delta G equals to delta H minus T into delta S. Delta G is nothing but what? Change in the Gibbs free energy. Delta H is nothing but change in the enthalpy. T is nothing but absolute temperature, and delta S is nothing but change in the entropy. See, if the reaction wants to be in a spontaneous way, then the delta G must be negative. If the reaction wants to be in a non-spontaneous way, then it must be positive, that is delta G must be positive. In order to understand the feasibility of thermal reduction as well as to choose the reducing agent for the reduction of ore, that is if you want to convert metal oxide into metal, then what we need to add? We need to add that is reducing agent. If you want to choose a reducing agent, as well as if you want to understand the feasibility of thermal reduction, then we have to refer that is Elegam diagrams. Okay, so here the question comes, what are Elegam diagrams, or what is Elegam diagram? Then let's study what is this Elegam diagram. So Elegam diagrams or Elegam plots are nothing but these are the graphical representation which indicates that is a change in the standard free energy change. Okay, it represents what? Change in the standard free energy change, nothing but delta G naught versus temperature for the metal oxides of different elements. Okay, so what are Elegam diagrams? Elegam diagrams are the graphical representation which indicates change in the standard free energy change versus temperature for particular metal oxides. So now let us study in detail about Elegam diagram. See, these are the graphs. Okay, so this is how we can plot the Elegam diagram. So this is y-axis. Okay, as you know, this is y-axis, and this is about x-axis. On the x-axis we have a temperature, so which is represented in Kelvin, and we have that is a delta G naught. It is along the y-axis, the delta G naught versus in the sense the delta G naught per kilojoules per mole. So these are the values of delta G naught, and on the x-axis we have that is temperature in Kelvin. So we have some plots. I am going to display them. So this is the final representation of the graph. So as you know, so I told you already in the previous slide, that is if you want to describe what is elegant diagram is, these are the graphical representations. Okay, so these are the graphs or plots which represents that is a change in the delta G naught versus temperature. Okay, now let us study some features of the elegant diagram. What are the important features of this elegant diagram? Then the first feature is that if you observe the graphical representation here, so this is a complete graphical representation. If you go through this complete graphical representation, it shows that all the lines are in the positive direction. See here, all the lines are in the upward direction, right? Okay, let's see here, this is also in upward direction. So here also in upward direction, this is also in upward direction. In the sense, the graph for the formation of metal oxides shows that is a straight line with upward direction, or they are in the positive direction. This is the first feature. Then second feature, there is a sudden change in the slopes for some metal oxides, sudden changes such as MgO. So here this is, you can see here this is MgO. There is a sudden change. So here we have a line. So as this line moves slowly, so at this point, so there is an arrow mark. So at that particular arrow mark, there is a sudden change in the metal oxides such as MgO and ZnO. Okay, so this is one of the feature in this elegant diagram. That is what in case of MgO, in case of ZnO, as well as in case of that is mercuric oxide. You can observe the arrow marks with yellow mark. Okay, so these indicates that is a sudden changes in the slopes. Then we have one more point in this slide, that is for few metal oxides such as mercuric oxide and silver oxide. Okay, so these graphs are plotted at the upper part of the elegant diagram. In the sense, their delta G naught value is almost all in the positive nature. In the sense, they are having some like 100 plus 200 plus 300 like that. Okay, so they are plotted at the upper part of the elegant diagram. And we have one more feature, that is graph for the formation of carbon monoxide. Especially graph for the formation of carbon monoxide is negative in direction. So if you observe the pink color line now, so that is the formation of carbon monoxide. So it shows a negative deviation. This is one more feature. And the next feature is that the graph for the formation of carbon dioxide is exactly parallel to the x-axis. Okay, you people can observe here. So that is the graph for the formation of carbon dioxide is exactly parallel to the x-axis. So this is carbon dioxide plot, okay, which is exactly parallel to what, x-axis. So now let us study significance of elegant diagrams. The first point is that, so in the elegant diagram, all the slopes are in the positive direction. So as the temperature increases, the stability of metal oxide decreases. This is due to increase in the delta G naught value. Secondly, so there are certain sudden changes in the graphs. You can observe here. So the yellow mark, yellow arrow mark, which is showing. So at magnesium oxide and at zinc oxide, and one more is at mercuric oxide. So these sudden changes indicates the phase change transformations. Phase change transformation is nothing but the melting point or boiling point of the particular metal oxides. So the next point is that, so for the formation of carbon monoxide, if you observe the graph for the formation of carbon monoxide, it shows negative deviation. So this negative deviation is because as the temperature increases, standard free energy decreases, and finally that is a delta S, in the sense the change in the entropy increases. And the next, as the tendency of metal to undergo oxidation, in the sense like what is the order for the tendency of metals to undergo oxidation, in the sense that is the magnesium is the like having the most affectionate towards the formation of oxidation, and next comes aluminium, next comes zinc, and next comes iron, and finally mercury and silver. So this is due to, that is what to say, that is increase in the negative of delta G naught, in the sense as the delta G naught value goes to the negative phase, the formation of metal oxide goes on increases. Let's discuss some of the important aspects of elegant diagram. With the help of elegant diagram, one can easily identify the reduction temperature of particular metal oxide. Secondly, elegant diagram helps us to check the melting point and the boiling point of metal oxides. And the next point, there are certain metal oxides such as mercuric oxide, silver oxides. For these metal oxides, no need of adding any reducing agents. Just by heating them nearly 500 to 600 Kelvin, we can convert metal oxide into metal. Any metal oxide with lower delta G naught value is more stable than the metal oxide with higher delta G naught value. Therefore, the metal oxide with lower delta G naught value is used as best reducing agent for the metal oxide with higher delta G naught values. Thank you.